These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they're home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes, oh I hate to go. There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes, the bills need paying, so off I must go.
These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores is where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
Where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's mighty road. My tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include the NLNU Branch Number 12 held a public demonstration, St. John's Central High School students took part in the 30-hour famine, the Coast Guard bring ashore another boy. These stories plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack and more coming up after this.
The Government of Canada has good news for seniors. Now it's easier to renew the Guaranteed Income Supplement or the Spouse's Allowance. Most pensioners will have their benefits renewed automatically by filing an income tax return. We recently sent you a letter about this. If you haven't received it, please call Human Resources Development Canada free of charge at 1-800-277-9914.
On Thursday of this week, the nurses of the NLNU Branch Number 12, along with nurses all across Newfoundland and Labrador, held public rallies to send a strong message to the Tobin government.
Good night, folks. I thank you for coming. First of all, I'm going to apologize for using my exercise book, my notes. I'm not that practiced at giving speeches in front of large crowds, so excuse the wavering in my voice. I'll try to speak loud and clear. As president of the NLNU Branch Number 12, I do welcome you to our rally. This is a rah-rah, okay? First of all, we would like to thank everyone, all of the public, all of the businesses throughout the week who have showed their support. If nothing else, we've probably gotten fat out of it. We've had firewood, we've had someone construct our little shed for us. We've had coffee and buns and everything you'd like to name. And I would really like to say a big thank you for that. Our strike started on March 24th with 3 outstanding issues in the forefront. The government has been and continues to mislead the public by saying that money is the only issue. While being a factor, it is certainly not the only one. It is going to take a lot of money to put our healthcare system back to the ideal. We've been very fortunate in Burgeo to have received this new modernized facility. Workload may not be an issue at this site, but you need only to travel to Corner Brook to see the staggering workload of nurses there. We have been fighting on your behalf that when you must send your family member to these larger centers, that you need not feel obligated to go because you know that the nurses are too busy to give the care that your loved one deserves. In making reference to the shortage of nurses at this site, we have all been called back on our scheduled days off because there's not enough relief to cover the extra shifts and escorts. Another pushing issue is the casualization of nurses. What this means to the general public is a decrease in the quality of care being provided. How can you expect a nurse to be proficient in providing quality care to a patient who is in unfamiliar territory? These nurses are floated from unit to unit on a day-to-day basis. This is very similar to taking a Burgeo fisherman from these nice rocky familiar shores and placing you on the coast of BC. You have the skills and you have the knowledge, but in this unfamiliar territory you simply feel lost. A casual nurse feels like this every day. She goes to work. The only difference being is that she's legally and ethically responsible for life and death situations. Now for the pay issue. We do not expect wage parity with the rest of the country. Since all of the healthcare cutbacks several years ago, nurses have assumed many more responsibilities under the title of charge nurse. These duties include scheduling, and at our site that's scheduling for all departments, arranging patient conferences, and being involved in quality improvement issues, just to name a few. The hospitals of this province are being staffed mainly by Newfoundland-trained nurses. For the last number of years, none of these nursing positions have been full-time. Rather, over 1,000 nurses are termed casual, and this translates into no benefits and no schedules and no life, despite full-time hours. Just a few short years ago, our hospital was closed because of nursing shortages. In order to be reopened, nurses were enticed and recruited by attractive packages, including free rent and board, bursaries, and relocation allowances. That was only a few short years ago, boys. This hospital was closed. Given the current economic status of Newfoundland and Labrador, many of our young professionals are leaving for greener pastures, so we say. This province cannot afford to lose any more of these professional people. We have lost far too much, and yet we have far more to gain. The people of this province deserve quality health care, and we want to provide it. You already realize that we've been on strike for 9 days and are about to be legislated back to work without binding arbitration. We realize that we would be legislated back eventually, of course, but to be without binding arbitration is simply unacceptable. We are furious. This is no longer just a nursing issue, boys. No longer a nursing issue. This is a human rights issue, okay? When you take away binding arbitration, you're taking away the right to be heard by an impartial third party who would decide justly and fairly the outcome of the strike. Binding arbitration is our legal right. It is the law of the land. Nurses have abided by the law in carrying out this strike, but the government has not. Premier Tobin is abusing the power that we bestowed upon him. He has chosen to ignore his people and take matters into his own hands by imposing this Bill 3 that would legislate us back to work without our binding arbitration. We are here tonight to send a strong message to this anti-union government that we will not stand by and allow them to dictate the law. This blatant abuse of power has major implications for all unionized workers. Where is he going to start next? FFAW, NAPE, NAPE, QP, NTA. We fear this may be so. Please join with us in our continued efforts to resist this attempt at dictatorship. Please remind our MHA that he is responsible to his people and not to his party. You may show your support by wearing white ribbons. Nurses, however, will be wearing black ribbons in our workplace to demonstrate our disapproval with this government's unjust law. I thank you for being here. we just took some time off. Don't cry, please.
I know that it's not bad knowledge. No. We need people to do it.
We spoke to Glenda Ricketts and Karen Sims, the president and the vice president of the local NLNU, to see if they were pleased with the turnout at the rally. Glenda, how do you feel about the turnout at your rally tonight?
I am very, very pleased given the turnout, given a very short notice. We didn't have the notice on TV till about 3 o'clock, 3:30. So that's only given us a few hours until 7 o'clock, so I am quite pleased. And I've heard people in the crowd say as well that if they had more seen the message, if they had more notice, we would have had a larger turnout. So I am quite pleased. I thank everyone for coming up, showing their support.
Okay, how about you,
As you can tell, the car horn's blown. We're really pleased with all the support that we've received over the past more than a week. There's been a few comments about the absence of our mayor at this rally. It is a very important issue. It affects all of Burgeo, just like any other issue that affects us. This hospital and healthcare is very important to this community, and it was expressed quite clearly at their I don't know if you would call it disrespect, but it's definitely displeasure it is not showing, or at least someone from town council, and they were notified.
Okay, so do you have any further steps that you're going to be taking to show your displeasure about the government's trying to legislate you back to work?
Our union are going to be taking legal action to see if they can fight this. And of course, we're still encouraging everyone to be phoning local lines, calling our MHA, and as well to wear the white ribbons in support of us on their coats, or even tying the white garbage bags around their car antennas, around their car fence, just to show us the continued support, because this fight is ongoing, it is not over.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
On Friday of the last week, students of St. John's Central High School took part in a 30-hour famine. We took our cameras to the school to see how the students passed their time. Approximately 35 to 40 students took part in the 30-hour famine, which started Friday morning at 8 a.m. and ended Saturday at 2 p.m. During this time, the students were allowed to leave the school. Every hour, the students were given 6 ounces of liquid to drink. The students passed their time by playing pool, cards, video games, catch, wrestling, playing music, or just relaxing while watching a little TV. I spoke to one group of students about why they took part in this 30-hour famine. They told me they wanted to help some kid maybe to get a meal for the day. They also told me that teenagers could make a difference in the fight against world hunger, and that a 30-hour famine gives them that chance. Corey Symes, organizer for the 30-hour famine, said they had to raise approximately $500. We would like to congratulate these students for taking part in this event and for raising so much money for a worthwhile cause. We are very proud of you. On Tuesday of last week, a boy was brought ashore by the Coast Guard boat W.G. George. We took our cameras to the Sea Freeze wharf to have a look. When we visited the wharf, the Coast Guard crew were trying to find out who owned the boy. They were informed about the boy by ships at sea. This boy is a navigational hazard to other ships in the area. It was retrieved approximately 40 miles offshore. We contacted the Coast Guard later in the week to find out who owned it. Bidford Institute Oceanography is the owner, and they have been contacted to come and pick up their property. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
I'm Ashtar, a robot from Planet Danger. I can put my arm back on. You can't. So play safe.
We visited Ingram's Food Lane on Wednesday morning, where Mr. Ingram presented chicks to 2 local groups as a part of the Tape Saver program.
This morning we do have a couple of chicks here to pass out to you guys for supporting the Tape Saver program. Glenn, we'll give you yours first for the Tape Savers. For the tapes that you saved up, you got another check of $200.
Hey, Gordon. Thanks a million, buddy.
Thanks,
Greatly appreciate it.
And Josephine for Scotiabank, which I think most of your money goes towards Janeway or the hospital, like we've seen past week too as well. So anyway, thanks for supporting it.
Thank you.
And yours is $100. So thanks very much, and please, we ask that you continue to support it. As you can see, you can certainly get some monies for your organizations, and over the year come out to a nice dollar that you can make good presentation or help you with equipment, so whatever you plan on doing. Again, thanks.
Right now, Gord, coming on in April now that we're going to be doing a standard first aid course in CPR with 10 of our members. Costs department $65 per person, so it's going to be $650 is going to cost the fire department, so it's $600 that can go towards that.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, and thanks.
Okay, more than welcome.
The Tape Saver program is open to any organization in town. With the difficult economic situation in our town, this program is a great way to make money for your organization. The more tapes you save, the more money you can receive for your group. Or maybe you don't belong to any particular group, but you can still help. All you have to do is drop your cash register tape into one of these boxes. Has spring finally come? This visitor to Shag Pond seems to think so. Stay with us for Off the Rack, the community events, and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
In West Africa, when rain is scarce, crops fail, forcing rural people to move to cities in search of a means to provide for their families. With the help of USC Canada, villagers in northern Mali are fighting the pressure to leave with projects focused on market gardens, small credit schemes, and improved soil conservation methods. Help the people of Mali fight back against desertification and drought. Support USC Canada today.
Off the Rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of the Kate Nova when she returned from patrolling the Grand Banks for foreign draggers that were overfishing. Let's look back to April 1992.
Good evening and welcome to the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Rhonda Green. The Resident Family Council are selling pins for $1 and mugs for $5. These items are available at the hospital. All proceeds from these sales will go towards the bus. Any parent interested in filling the vacancy on the St. John Central High School Council, please phone 886-2590. St. John Central High School will be closed to all outside activities during the Easter break due to the cleaning of the school. Please support the 1999 Special Olympics by purchasing a Law Enforcement Torch Run t-shirt at $12 each. Funds raised through the sale of these t-shirts go directly towards the Special Olympics for handicapped children. Your support for such a worthwhile event is greatly appreciated. Shirts can be purchased at the local DFO office and at the BBS office. The public library is selling tickets on a barbecue machine and a barbecue dinner. Drawing will be on Friday, May 21st at 2 p.m. Tickets are $1 each, or 3 for $2, and are available from any library board member, Storytime Children, or at the library. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we will be happy to advertise it for you. You can contact the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's program. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. On Thursday, we will have a rebroadcast of The Bandwagon. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. On Sunday, April the 11th, we will have religious revelations from the Roman Catholic Church. Please stay tuned now for The Bandwagon. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night.